lose their first game of the season 2-1 to the Florida Panthers. Welcome into Postgame Live, presented by Curado Insurance. Ashlyn Sullivan, Scott Hartnell, Al Morganti here with you. When you look at this first game of the season, I don't think a lot is to be unexpected, except for the goaltender, Dan Vladar, starting this game. But overall, the goaltending pretty solid, but offensively, when you look at the top six especially, it was really only Noah Cates' line that got a lot of progress. You'd like to see a lot more production from that offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Give credit to Bobrovsky and net there for the Florida Panthers, back-to-back Stanley Cup champs for a reason, right? Hard to beat that guy, but Noah Cates, Bobby Brink, and Takeoff played really, really solid. They had the puck on their stick a lot of the night tonight, going to the blue paint, making things happen, and the other lines need to follow suit.
Yeah, you wanted to see that. That line's better than we thought from last year. They just picked up where they left off. They've been terrific. I think if you're tuning in like the first game, you want to see more offense, like more. We got Michkov and now Zegras. Frankly, they didn't figure in too much into this game. That's where you thought I thought at least the difference might be in this. But that's a tough team that they're playing. Plus, Scott, it's not their opener. They've already played one, so Florida's kind of waded into it a little bit, and I think they played a better overall game.
Yeah, you could tell that they were just a little bit more cohesive, the Florida Panthers, and it definitely is a bummer when Brad Marchand scores the game winner for the Florida Panthers. This is a guy that has been a thorn in the Flyers' side for a really long time, and overall this game was pretty even until this happened now.
Yeah, and he got picked on one play earlier, but this one here, this is a long shot off of the boards, and Bush mentioned, somebody skating by to kind of screen a little bit, but that's a tough one. He's going to push the team to the outside to keep him to the outside, and this one beat your goaltender.
Yeah, what a read there to go to that boards, right? The guy misses the net, comes all the way around the boards. He's up by that deck sign on the boards there. Delory not in the shooting lane, screen by Greer going, and right where he saw it, right where it was by his shoulder, so nothing he could do about that, and he's just probably the last guy on that team that you want to score that goal. That was Brad Marchand, just like you said. He's a thorn in everyone's side, and he keeps doing what he's doing.
Right, and we talked about that top six with the Philadelphia Flyers here, and you look at Travis Konecny, a great chance here to try to tie this game. He's going to be kicking himself with this one, but it really wasn't until the third period that you saw these lines get going, Scott.
Yeah, great passing there. That's what we want to see, almost every shift if they can, right? The Zegras was a nice backhand pass over to him and just maybe rush himself just a little bit out. You see that empty cage, Bobby's so good getting over there fast. Just stop it. Maybe a half a second more and pop that thing top shelf, but good look there by the passer there.
Yeah, just ran out of real estate there. It's not like, some players maybe Hughes goes in, you're going to score from there. That's a tough angle.
Right, you look at the rest of the chances here with this game, and Rick Tocchet did say that it was going to take some time for this offense to find an identity, for this to get going. He kind of warned us that this would happen, especially when you looked at the preseason. It wasn't like it was this high-grade fireworks in the preseason, all these goals.
Yeah, they weren't filling the net. Absolutely not, Ashlyn. And they were working hard, right? Give them credit. They weren't lazy out there. They weren't not back-checking. They're doing the little things right. But, you got a Hall of Fame goaler, like they said in the broadcast, which he is. No case there. Look at this guy off the post there. He could have had 3 or 4 goals himself, Al.
Could have, and what a nice move coming. That's a nasty, nasty move there. But Bobrovsky, even without the stick, he made a great save to come in, and you just see his ability to poke check, and absolutely no panic at all whatever's in close. The Flyers got pressure on him, but he just out-goaltended him.
Right, and especially when you look at where you can go from here with this Flyers team, you're really encouraged by Noah Cates. But, Scott, you said in the crossover, you were never worried about Noah Cates or that line. You knew that was going to kind of be the anchor of this team right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And for Rick Tocchet coming in, okay, what do I have here? He's kind of, what should I do? And probably everyone under the sun was telling him, who've ever watched a couple Flyers games, this line has to stay together for the start of this season. And they didn't disappoint. They were all over the puck, defended really well when they had to. They didn't have to very much, but yeah, you want to see a little bit more pop. I'm not too concerned. It's game 1 of the season. The defending Stanley Cup champions, and they were right there with them.
Yeah, it's a tough start, Florida, to begin with. Plus, they've already played a game. Plus, you were down a couple of defensemen, so you had to play a pretty tight game here. And I think, as you mentioned, that chemistry should get better. Zegras, Michkov, Konecny, that's going to be a work in progress for a little while, but there should be a much, much higher ceiling than what we saw tonight.
Yes, that is definitely the hope as we go back down to South Florida to hear from Noah Cates in the Flyers locker room.
That game, kind of your line picking up where it left off last year, the only intact line that's still coming back, and it looks like you guys haven't missed a beat.
Yeah, just kind of when we get back together, we're talking on the bench, and I think just a step ahead with where we want to be, and just kind of different plays and whatnot from last year. So I think it was a good start for us, and I mean, just for the team, you see it, defending Cup champs, and we just can't kind of take some breaks, and you just see how mature their game is. But we're right there, so we know we can play with the best teams in this league and compete with them.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of positives to take away, even though obviously guys don't come away with the win.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, defending champs, a good measuring stick, and you just see how mature their game is, and they don't have lapses, for how many minutes. So I think we had, a couple lapses for a couple shifts, long shifts, not changing little details. So they just always have their details with them, and it's not always pretty for them, but they just get it done, grind it out.
From watching on the bench and on the ice, did it seem like that the system changes that Rick has made that they were applied out there, that the guys are picking it up?
Yeah, kind of a lot of meetings. Past couple of days, we're talking about it. We know the looks, we know what we want to do. Just kind of getting in the game situation, seeing it, from the bench, and we'll get, some film. There's some, little things in the neutral zone that I'm sure we'll see, and we'll talk out, and we'll iron out.
Was that a set play on the faceoff between you guys to go to the net after winning the faceoff kind of thing?
Yeah, it's what we do. It's they're center on center. Being a center, you don't like to be at the net and kind of just beat them, and want to draw. I got it to Tice and quick shots, and like you said, beat their center to the net.
You won 9 of 15, I believe, out of the face-off circle. We talked a lot last year about that was something you were working on, is your face-offs. Do you feel like maybe you're progressing in that direction?
Yeah, I thought the start of preseason was pretty good, then had a couple of tough ones in the preseason, whatever it might be, but felt good tonight. Going against some good centermen, and just got to keep it up. It's consistency there. It's winning the PK ones, big face-offs on the other sides. There's a lot of different things that go into it. So starting off good, feels good, but it's an every night thing. Thanks.
You hear Noah Cates there. You don't want any moral victories, but you're facing the defending Stanley Cup champions, the first game of the season. To hold your own, that's something to take away, especially when you had extra chances like this that could have tied a game.
That's a power move. Luckily, the shot didn't go through his 5-hole, Bob's 5-hole here. Right there, he closed that one down, and then Bob has a note with all to poke that puck away from Foerster, who's right there on the doorstep.
Yeah, that was a great combination of a power move and smarts with the body position to come in and draw the goaltender over like that. His growth as a player has been pretty remarkable.
Really good.
I mean, really, from a guy who wasn't going to make the team to come in and then change positions. And he mentioned it, face-offs on PK. There's a lot of responsibility that goes with him right now. And he seems to be, that whole line, they've taken it one game at a time, I guess would be the cliche, but you can tell that growth as an individual. Never mind the line, just him.
And it's good for kids to realize that, too. He was a scratch for about 10, 15 games beginning of last season. He comes in, he finds this line. He takes his game to another level, signs another big deal for the Flyers, and had a great first game. So for him, great start to the season. His face-offs did look tremendous tonight and through preseason, so good job for Noah.
Yeah, all of a sudden a much more mature player for the Flyers. And how about Dan Vladar, that we were not aware is going to start this first game for the Flyers? We'll talk much more about his game coming up on Flyers Postgame Live, presented by Auto Insurance. We are back, Flyers Postgame Live, looking at the first goal of the game here. The Florida Panthers strike first. Lundell and Dan Vladar in net here. Al, what did you see?
Well, Vladar played, I thought, a terrific game throughout Florida. Of course, in the power play, the end of a power play, they had to come in and score that goal. Even with the people they're missing, Tkachuk and Barkov, there's so many good players and very physical players that force their way into the zone right past the goaltender.
Yeah, tough line change here. There's Travis connecting. He goes off. They're on a rush right now, so now it's 5 versus 3 guys instead of 5 versus 4. They're already short one guy. But give credit to the shot there. Lundell. Look at that, catch that pass, all in one motion, fires that thing far side post and in. So, you got to tip your cap sometimes, but, a better time to change. If he was tired before, get off right away when that puck, you skate your butt off right to the bench, get the guy fresh legs right in the middle ice, then you can defer that puck to each side. But
and Florida is going to take advantage because it's immediately they see it.
And it's a game full of mistakes, right?
Right, and that's something Tocchet had talked to us a lot about in the preseason. It's the details of the game, getting in and out of the play. I didn't realize, Scott, how much goes into that with a new coaching scheme, a new system. You could tell Taka was a bit worried about the disorganization of that.
Yeah, everything's new, right? And when you're thinking in the game of hockey out there about where it should be or what you're going to do with the puck when you get it, that's where you kind of get discombobulated and mistakes happen, right? So you got to know your structure, and then it's going to come secondhand after a couple weeks of doing this system. So it's a mistake by TK at the late change, not covering the middle of the guy, the most important guy on that rush there. But Lindell makes a hell of a shot there.
It's got to be annoying. He's teaching the whole in practice, push everybody to the outside. Then they get beat on a shot by keeping everybody to the outside. But overall, that you want to protect the home like that. You want to protect your house. And that's what they did throughout this game pretty much against still a really good Florida team.
Right. And you look at the goaltender, Dan Vladar. This was a guy that came in this offseason. We thought, okay, the backup to Sam Ersson. This will give Sam Ersson some comfort. We interviewed Dan Vladar at Media Day, and he's like, no. I didn't come in here to be a backup. I am going to compete for the starting position. I see this as an opportunity. I was blown away how confident he was that he was going to get an opportunity to start here for the Flyers, and look at this.
Yeah, if it was game 1 or game 2, it doesn't really matter. He came in and he played a heck of a hockey game. 32 saves, on 34 shots. And look at the one, even on he's on his belly, kicks that one away there, Al. But he had a lot of poise in there. Playing the puck maybe be a little bit of a question mark for me, going behind the net, stopping it, making a pass to your defenseman. But, man, he's a big body. He's 6'7". Look at him. Covers the bottom of the net really well. So, he played awesome.
Yeah, that was a plus. If you're Ersson, it's like, okay, here's the challenge to you now. You're going to come back against, see what you have on your game coming up here, because it was a bit of a surprise, even though I didn't think either one was really a huge standout in the preseason, but I thought Ersson really, you could tell that there's more to that game. I'm curious to see the reaction to him. I like the competition. When you come in, it's not like they've got a Bobrovsky, let's face it.
Yeah.
So I like the competition to come in. And plus, with a new coach, there's no money in the bank, really, to come in what you come in with.
Right, especially when in the past regimes, in the past couple of seasons, it's been let's give Sam Ersson this chance. Let's have it prove that he can be the #1 goaltender. But even Sam Ersson at Media Day, when talking about Dan Vladar, I asked him, this has to be great comfort that Dan Vladar is going to come in and help you. And he's like, he's not here to help me. He's here to compete. So it's very clear the dynamic is understood in the goaltender room. Like, this is a true competition. I don't think many people realize that is as true as it is right now.
Yeah, a shocker when we heard it this morning that Vladar was starting it, and it's going to be like this for a while to see who picks up the #1 job and gets 2 or 3 starts in a row if he's feeling it, right? And yeah, it was 2-1 loss today, a good game. You want to see those wins, so hopefully Sam, I would assume maybe will play on Saturday, and he's got to give it his best.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting as this shakes out as we go back down to South Florida to hear from the starting goaltender for this game, at least, Dan Vladar in the Flyers locker room.
You had a couple of preseason games with these guys, but where was your comfort level in this one, considering your first game with this set of D and that sort of thing?
I mean, obviously I was excited. Wanted to start it the right way, and fortunately it wasn't enough tonight. But I think guys did a good job in front of me.
Do you feel like you were seeing the puck well tonight?
Yeah. But as I said, it wasn't enough.
On the game winner, could you see that shot at all? Was that a screen on that?
Sorry, I don't want to comment on it. It's just Bobrovsky was one save better than me, and that's why we lost.
When you look at this game as the start of a bigger picture from the season, you feel like this team's in a good spot starting off here as far as progressing down the road. Yeah,
I mean, nobody's happy after tonight's game, so I think it's a good step or good thing for our team. And I'm pretty sure next game we're going to come out even better, and we're going to learn from this one and try to get better for next one.
Well, you hear it there. Dan Vladar not necessarily throwing anyone under the bus there when talking about that game-winning goal. And this is something Danny Briere was really honest all offseason. They have to be better in front of the net. The defensive structure has to be better to give these goaltenders a chance. But you got to love Vladar there taking credit for everything.
Yeah, you got to stop the puck. That's what you're paid to do, right? And you can't fault him. D'Lo's going out to the point there. A little bit of a screen by him. A.J. Greer, Bruce said, right in front of him when the puck came through. So he didn't see it off the stick. So a really tough save to make when you can't see the puck coming in.
Yeah, he didn't want to throw himself under the bus. So somebody came right through, and it's like, okay, it happens. The other goaltender was one better than me, but I mean, you take that overall effort throughout defensively to give that up, just get some more pop in your offense. I don't find this a game that the goaltender lost.
No, especially when you look at this defensive structure right now with no Cam York, no Rasmus Ristolainen. I mean, Travis Sanheim, the amount of minutes he skated, the pressure that's on him to overcome these losses. I mean, Tocchet said it this morning, like, replacing Cam York is going to be committee-based. You can't just plug someone in and hope for the best.
Yeah, Yorkie's so good at blocking shots with his stick, especially the passes coming out of the zone. You talk about defense and defending. Sometimes defense is getting the puck out of your zone to your forwards with the speed, getting them jet set and going on offense, right? So, you're definitely going to miss a big passer like Cam York.
Well, yeah, and you look at the pairings and the third pairing. If you're the home team, you get to change who you're going to match up against. It's tough right now for what they're going through here right now. The Flyers, their defensive depth with what they have. Even Drysdale, you want to see something from him, but not everything's not where it should be in their lineup right now.
Especially on the road against these teams too, right? That have last change. They can get out their big guns when they see a Zamula and Juleson out there. So it's pretty tricky on the road, but they got to figure a way through it.
Yeah, just got to take some more time to gel all these pairings. Stay with us here. Flyers postgame live presented by Strado Insurance. Hearing from Rick Tocchet coming up from South Florida. Stay with us.